Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Richard the Razor Ewing. He's Matt, none the wiser wise, and we do this thing called GameFACE. But Matt, before we get started, as you probably know, I got to go to the questions.
Razor, get them.
So if you're trying to figure out what type of grape juice blend will work with your next batch of wine, you're on the wrong podcast. And if you're trying to figure out which seating chart is going to work when you set up your in-house party, you're on the wrong podcast. However, if you're trying to get information on sports here in the San Francisco Bay Area, you just put your GameFACE on. And if you're trying to get sports and insight on a national level, once again, you put your GameFACE on. I've said this once, I'll say it again. I'm Richard the Razor Ewing. He's Matt, none the wiser wise. Matt, what do we got?
Well, definitely, if you came for this podcast to help you with seating charts for a party, you're on the wrong podcast, because I threw a party and I couldn't do any of it. I had to enlist the help of millions and millions of people to help me. And with wine, I'm sorry, I'm not your guy either. I'm not a huge wine guy. What I am, Razor, is a guy that won this week in our picks. Last week, we picked three games.
Yeah,
we picked 3 games. And I'm bummed. Because you know what I should have done? I should have parlayed my picks with you, gone on over to betonline.ag and put some of my money down where I thought I should. Like the San Jose State game. I called a straight out win on that game. Mm-hmm. Now they did end up losing, but the point spread was 8 and they didn't lose by more than 8. So I still won that one. I should have gone over to BetOnline. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, either even more odds, props, contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. So I encourage you, Richard, I know you don't bet.
No, I don't.
And you know what? You proved it this week.
Yeah, I sure
proved it this week. But we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that, because at some point, Razor, you're going to be able to head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus. That's right. You heard it. A 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. But you must use the promo code BLEAV. That's promo code BLEAV to receive your bonus. Shout out to BLEAV Network.
Yes,
that's where we're at. That's what we're about.
Yeah,
that's the promo code BLEAV, BLEAV. Use it. Get 50% from football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Did you know that? Casino games? That's nuts. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, it's where the game starts.
Okay, so there you go. So if you think you got what it takes, you think you can make the picks and make the right selections, then go to BetOnline. Hey,
well, Richard, Razor, you didn't. I'm sorry, man. You went 0 for 3, and you know what? I couldn't be more proud on the last pick. You had the last pick. You picked Denver. They were giving 3.5 points to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah,
and the Raiders pulled it out.
I couldn't believe that.
1 week post John Gruden pull out the W. In a pick'em game, you had the Chargers versus the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. What can you say about what
he went off? He went off. When you throw over 400 yards, what does that say to your secondary? It means your secondary is a louse. Okay, that's what it is. And I could not believe that game. I was like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, I thought the Chargers were going to at least show up a little better than that, because they're having a pretty decent season this year. But
Lamar's on fire. MVP already, or early MVP candidate for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing the thing.
Hey, but I tell you something, Derek Carr is actually putting up some MVP numbers right now too, man.
He is, and he needs to. That team needs him to really, really step up and be the leader that I think he can be, and that he's shown that he could be. So I don't give up on the Raiders yet. I honestly,
no,
in my opinion, they have more of a shot or chance than the 49ers do at this point.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. nice segue into the 49ers, because when we think about it, I don't know about you, but if they don't pull off at least 10 wins this year, one of those guys, either Kyle Shanahan or the GM, for whatever reason, his name is escaping.
Lynch.
Yeah, John Lynch. One of those guys is going to be on the hot seat. Okay, because you have to look at the fact that this is the 5th season. Okay, and they've only now mind you, granted they've been in the Super Bowl, and that's amazing. Okay, that's great. Problem is, this is a back-to-back year where you're dealing with the same issues you dealt with last year. Injuries, and guys just not performing like they should. Okay, where is Brandon Ayuk?
That's been the mystery. That's been the mystery, kind of.
And I'll tell you something. Trey Sermon has shown some bright spots. He's shown some. I want to see what happens in this game against Indianapolis. That's going to be an interesting test for him.
Well, it's one of those get right games. I mean, you got Indy coming into Santa Clara, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not.
In fact, this close, brother, this close to getting tickets to that game, mind you. Almost had the hookup. So this close.
Wow.
But it's not going to happen for this one. I will be watching this Sunday nighter at home. But yeah, it's a get right game against the Colts. Colts are limping and struggling and coming in a little weak. So it's an opportunity for the 49ers to kind of maybe turn some things around, turn the tide. Maybe like you were saying earlier, maybe this is a game where they kind of establish an identity. And we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I just don't think that if they drop this one, okay, there's not going to be anything that they can pull out that can save the season. Because the one thing you don't want to do right now at the beginning of the season is have 4 losses. You can't do that. Okay. I mean,
not in this division.
No, not in this division. No. And this is the thing. What's interesting about it is that the Seahawks lost also.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, mind you, Wilson was not on the field. Okay. They had Geno Smith. And I tell you something, Geno actually played pretty good. I was actually impressed with his numbers. But
he did, but it's going to be a tough season for Seattle because Russell Wilson's not expected to be back till week 9. Trust me, I know he's on my fantasy team, and as a fantasy owner, it breaks my heart. As a 49er fan, there is an opening. There is a door. There is a slight sliver of a chance. It's the NFL. So,
but this is the deal. I believe that what's going on with San Francisco right now, it's all about Kyle Shanahan. It's all about him. He has to change his ideas.
Well, he does. They're definitely stacking the box, right? 8, 9 in the box to stuff the run. So there has to be some sort of threat downfield.
Yes.
And he has to come out and establish that threat early. If that means you're on first and second down, you're throwing 30, 40-yard bombs to Ayuk, to Debo, to whoever, Kittle, if he plays. If you're throwing bombs, you may get a pass interference call most of the time. Take the chance. As long as you're not throwing an interception, throw it to where only your receiver can catch it, but throw some bombs. Stretch the defense. Give them the threat at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In football, particularly in the NFL, okay, you always want to keep the defense guessing. That's the key of getting success. You manipulate the defense. You make the defense think, oh, well, you know what? This looks like a run play. Or, oh, you know what? They're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball underneath. It's like, no, you got to throw the ball downfield too.
But see, this is what's supposed to be great about Kyle Shanahan is that all the misdirection he does in his offense, all the type of play callings, the motions, everything is a distraction or, something for the eye to have to question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then design something downfield. Something downfield with all that motion and all that activity. You should be able to slip someone up the middle or wheel route your wide receiver on the outside. If you're, so that's where he's going to have to, I feel like his genius is going to have to show up. and he's going to have to, it's not scrap what you're doing. Do what you're doing, add these wrinkles that'll give you the deep threat. That's all.
But the other thing he needs to do is he needs to let personnel be the personnel who they are. Trey Sermon's a running back, so don't send him downfield to catch a pass. Deebo Samuel is a receiver. Let him run and go get it. Okay? Stop making him run the football. Okay?
Yeah, but didn't we love those jet sweeps from Deebo 2 years ago?
Yeah, but see, this is the problem. Yeah, but see, this is the problem. The problem was 2 years ago, it worked because it surprised everybody. Defenses smelled that. They know, hey, when they see that setup, they know, hey, this is going to be a jet sweep. Okay? And here comes Deebo around the corner, and they know. And they smelled it. Okay? So you can't fool the NFL anymore. That's my point.
No, they got tape, man. Tape is
tape is tape. So they can sit and look at it for hours, and they know, hey, okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so my point is, go back to the basics. You have receivers.
He's at the basics, though. We're at the basics. He's doing the basics. He's doing what he's been doing 2 years ago. Those are the basics.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
I want something new. I need new wrinkles.
Well, my point is something new. You know what something new is for Kyle Shanahan? Use the players in the positions that they're in. That's the new, okay? Stop putting them in position to do things that you want them to do, but it's not only not productive, but it's causing them to get hurt. Okay? I mean, let's keep it real, man. You got how many people are hurt for San Francisco again this year? And why? Because you're making these guys do stuff that they're not primed to do. They know their positions. Let them play. Let them play their position.
Yeah, it's tough to. I mean, injuries are tough. It's tough to say because he coaches this way. Like, I can understand if he was a coach, he's making them do liners, all night, but they're not doing that. This isn't that level. Like, I mean, I did a one-liner today. I almost died at soccer practice. Almost died. And you know what? I'm gonna be real honest. I got beat by one kid. One kid left me in the dust by a little bit, but it's only because my body gave out. I was done. I wasn't meant to run that kind of those kind of liners.
Well, there's a lot of other things about it too, Matt. There's a lot of things that you have to do personally, physically, in order to be able to do that. And
sure. No, yeah. I'm in no shape for a liner.
Yeah, you're in no shape. I wouldn't even try a liner. I wouldn't even, man, I'm 57, dude. I'm not gonna,
Well, it's gonna take me 2 days to recover from it.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about the Sharks.
Sharkies a big old win tonight.
Yeah.
5-0.
5-0 against Montreal. That's a statement game on when they, basically realize that, hey, we need a game that's going to position us, in the Western Division. And this was it. So 5-0 was amazing. And hats off to the Sharks goalie. Okay. Because when you win 5-0, that means you stopped the competition from scoring. So Montreal is probably ticked off right now. Okay, getting on the bus to go home on a plane. And you know what? So be it.
Let's see. They had, how many shots on goal did they have? Here it is. 21 shots.
21 shots. Okay.
21 shots. So, I mean, defense is playing well. Offense is playing well.
Yeah.
What I saw when you and I went to the preseason game, and it was one of the things I questioned, because they're a talented team. That you can't deny that.
Right.
And they have speed. They have like some of that finesse, some of that kind of razzle dazzle type to it. But I was really, really concerned. Are they going to be able to bring the physicality that the game requires? And they did show physicality. That game, they started a preseason game out with 2 fights. So they did send a message like, you're not going to push us around. We are not some pansies. We're the San Jose Sharks, and we're here to wreck you. And they started off the season 2-0, and they're wrecking folks. And I could not be happier. Now, this is what scares me. When the Sharks play really, really well in the regular season and they just lay eggs in the playoffs. And so I can never get too high Yeah, in sports you never want to get too high, but you never want to get too low, right?
Right.
So I'm not going to get too high right now with 2-0 because I've seen this before. But so what I am going to be really, really high on is the Warriors playing the Lakers tonight. That's a game I'm really, really interested to see the outcome of. I peaked. Draymond actually drove it to the hole and finished before the half already tonight. That's exciting. So not to leave the Sharkies in the dust.
Right.
2-0, but it is opening night for the Dubs. So
yeah, and I tell you something. You see me. That's right, baby.
Numbers. There you go.
Numbers, baby. You know it. You know it. So, and I'm gonna go back to the Sharks, but then I'm gonna come back to my Dubs. You know I am. We got a little problem.
Well, and see, that's a problem too. So they're 2-0, right? Mm-hmm. How is this whole Evander Kane thing shaking out? I think
once again, what are we dealing with? Raising Kane.
Yeah,
okay, that's what we're dealing with.
What was it? A 21 game suspension for violating protocol.
Right.
So
and it was COVID-19 protocol to be exact.
Yeah, and so to be honest with you, I think this is just the beginning. Like this is just like, hey, chill out for 21 days while we finish this investigation type situation. I don't know. So I don't know if he's going to see the ice, but I hope it doesn't affect what the Sharks are doing on the ice. The guys that are out there putting in the work right now.
Okay, but they've already determined that the other issues that were surrounding him are pretty much null and void.
That's good. 21 games, then we rock and roll. Let's go.
Yeah, because they had a report today. I heard on KCBS today that apparently they could not substantiate his estranged ex-wife on the details of what she said he did. And the fact that they couldn't substantiate it means they cannot move forward with any type of penalties or any type of prosecution of any kind. So that's good, okay, for Evander. Evander did come out and publicly apologize.
Yeah, I got it right here. I have it right here. Quote, I would like to apologize to my teammates, the San Jose Sharks organization, all the Sharks fans for violating the NHL COVID protocols.
Right.
He goes on to say, I made a mistake, one I sincerely regret and take responsibility for. During my suspension, I will continue to participate in counseling to help me make better decisions in the future. When my suspension is over, I plan to return to the ice with great effort, determination, and love for the game of hockey. Hey, I love that. And I'm a man of second chances. And
hey, man, we all make mistakes.
Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, this 21 days for him to do those things and get his head right and get it where he wants it to be so that he can be a dynamic hockey player for the San Jose Sharks.
Well, you think about this. He's an excellent forward. No question about that. His game, right now, they're saying he is the best Shark. That's what they're saying. Okay. My whole deal is this. Anytime you're a professional player, or maybe not professional, maybe you're an amateur, okay? You know, when you play the game, you have to think about how you're being viewed at all times, okay? I mean, one of the great players that ever played the game of basketball, Michael Jordan, even he said that, hey, when you put yourself on the professional level or even the amateur level and you're on stage in front of the audience, he said, you're like a fish in a fishbowl, okay? Everybody's watching you to see what you do. He said, but you're also a target, okay? You got a bullseye on your back, okay? Because this is the thing. If you're on the professional level, you're bringing in all this money, okay? And you're in shark waters. Hey, excuse the pun, but, you know, everybody's going to try to figure out a way to get money out of you, okay? Now, on the amateur set, if you're trying to go professional, you want to keep your image, you know, clean because you can't go professional if it's not.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you say professional. Like, be a professional. A professional conducts himself in a manner that's professional on and off
the
court. If you want to be, if you're an amateur, your goal is to be a professional, so you better act like a professional. Right. Here, better yet, if you're a professional, maybe you should, instead of thinking about being a target or I should need to be a professional, maybe you should think about, maybe I can be a light in this world that needs some light desperately. And I can act in a manner and display something good into this world and be light into this world, instead of not being professional and being a knucklehead.
Yeah, because this is the thing. You have the ability to influence people. I think I told you this story before.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah. I mean,
that's where you're at.
Yeah, I told you this story before. You know, when I was younger, you know, I got to meet the original CJ, Charles Johnson, in person. I was 9 years old at the time. He lived right around the corner from my house. I didn't even know it. Okay. But I was getting in trouble with the law because I was a kid and I had all this energy and my mom was trying to raise me and I was messing up. And he saw me and he said, "Hey, are you Richard?" I was like, "Well, yeah." He's like, and you know, he's a tall black guy, so he stood out, right? He just, "Listen, I heard you've been getting in trouble with the law around here." And I just kind of sunk my head down because I realized this is embarrassing, right? So he says, "Come here, I'm gonna show you something." So I followed him. We walked through the front porch and there was a lady sitting on the front porch. We went past the entryway of his house and there was another lady sitting on the couch and that was his sister, Michelle. Okay, I know Michelle to this day. She still lives there. Okay. He took me to this back room and showed me his trophy case. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've never seen so many awards in all my life. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. This guy, he had stuff from when he was playing, you know, in grade school. He had stuff when he was playing in college, when he was playing in high school. You know, he took Sequoia High School in Rebel City to the state championship. I mean, he had done all this stuff. And then he looked and he said, "You see, you can do great things if you put your mind and your willpower to it."
Absolutely.
And that was a huge impression on me. Okay. That was an enormous impression. I didn't realize it. He had his arm around me and I turn and I look at his hand and he's got an NBA championship ring on it. And that's when I realized, oh my God, this is the guy. This is CJ. This is Charles freaking Johnson. This guy played with Rick Barry. This guy, okay. And later on, I realized, I was like, God, man, that was an amazing. And to what your point said, you can be a light. It's like if they realize the effect they can have on children alone, you know, it's amazing. I mean,
look at a guy like Steph Curry. That's why we love him, because of not just the person he is on the court, right, and the way he carries himself on the court, the fun and joy he has, but the person he is off the court. You know, the man that he is, you know, that he appears to be a family man, you know, and his kids and his wife and their relationship and his, you know, he's just very open and just the things that he does for the community. And you don't hear about him wilding out. You don't hear about him, you know, popping off, you know, just because he has the right to say whatever he wants to say. He doesn't. You know, he's a professional. You know, he speaks eloquently, and you know, you have to respect a guy like that. Like, yeah, he speaks his mind, but he does it in a professional manner, and he's not out there trying to hurt people, and he's trying to be a difference in his realm of influence, which is a tremendously huge realm of influence.
Yeah, I can't believe it, man. So, start of the new season, Milwaukee's playing the Nets.
Smoked them.
You know, I'm like, okay. And this is the thing, because everybody keeps talking about KD, and it's like, okay, I get it. I get, but the problem is,
bro, that's a team of dysfunction. It will always be a team of dysfunction. You've got 3 players on that team that are great basketball players, tremendous basketball players, but their egos are just as tremendous as their skill. And with Kyrie being a huge distraction.
Yeah.
I saw KD take it to the rack and get stuffed. And he's just looking around for a foul, like what happened? And if they're going to solely rely on KD or James Harden to go one-on-one with people, they're not going to do very well, because some of these teams, like the Milwaukee Bucks, can play some deep. So
yeah, and this is the thing. At the end of the day, right now, Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Okay. Absolutely. And people don't want to hear that. They want to talk about KD and talk about Harden and talk about all these other players. It's like, no, right now, Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Okay. Now, this is the thing. I saw predictions for this year's NBA season. There was only one person that had the Warriors. Well, two people that had the Warriors in the top 4. Everybody else, they didn't have the Warriors anywhere. And I'm just like, wow, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, you look at what they're rolling back to start this season. Okay.
Yeah.
They're rolling back pretty much the same team core wise, plus Andre Iggy, right? Minus Kelly Oubre and a bunch of rookies and a emerging junior player in Jordan Poole and some rookies, and then waiting for Clay and Wiseman to return. So, I mean, you're basically returning the same team almost from your last year's team, which got 8th or 9th place. So
I'm not going to agree on that. And the reason why I'm not going to agree on that is because they have some players that I think are going to contribute a lot more than a lot of people are, prognosticating here. I expect Otto Porter Jr. to be more of a factor.
He's already balling out.
Yeah. I expect Bielitsa to be more of a factor this year. This guy can shoot. Okay. Not only that, he plays defense. Okay. I honestly think that people are overlooking Golden State, and that may be.
I don't think nobody's doing that.
Well, no. When I say they, I mean the aficionados, the guys who watch the game. I don't see a lot of them selecting them. They see them as a 5 or 6 seed, okay? Which, okay, that's in the top 10. I get that. But I just think that if this team moves to gel, okay, mid-season, I honestly, this team could really be a problem.
They absolutely could, but you said the key mid-season, right? Clay's back, he's back in the groove. Wiseman's starting to get the reps, he's getting into the groove. I mean, you're talking past All-Star break, right? Like in the groove. Okay. So going into a season, like if you know that the first half of the season may be a tough stretch before you get those reinforcements, I mean, in this Western Conference, you'd have to be skeptical of the Warriors. I personally have them 5-6.
Really?
So I'm just outside top 4. I mean, it's a tough Western Conference, and if you get off to a slow start, it's going to be hard to make up that distance.
It is because you have teams like Utah, Phoenix. These are the
Lakers,
Denver's a very hot team. And tell you something, and you can't, as much as people don't want to talk about it, I'm sorry, I got to include Portland. I just feel like this is a team, they did very well last season. I mean, with the same personnel, they pretty much have. I don't expect them to lie down anytime soon. Now, and I get all that. I think the biggest issue I have right now with people not seeing them in the top 4 is that the Warriors know those teams. They do. They know all of those teams. They know the Lakers. They know Utah. They know Denver. They know.
This is a new Lakers team that's really, really scary. But
it's a Lakers team that's unfortunately
it's old. Don't get me wrong.
They're dealing with gerontology right now.
Yeah, they dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're dinosaurs, and I just don't see that team staying consistent.
I seen some dinosaurs ball out.
Okay, but being consistent the entire season. I got a problem with that.
For me, it's avoiding injuries for those.
Yeah, I just don't. Okay. I think after 40 games, you're going to start to see some injuries in the LA. You are. You're going to start to see some. Because 40 games is a lot of games.
There's going to be a lot of load management going on in LA. That's going to be really the coach's only job. It's not going to be calling the plays. It's going to be load management for his team.
Okay, but the fact that you're doing load management, that shows right there that, hey, guess what? You can't finish the entire season.
Welcome to the new age NBA.
Yeah, and I tell you something else. That load management is probably going to cost them more than they think. Okay, because
to me it's a load, because if you're healthy, you play. And LeBron said that before. Like, If I'm healthy, I'm playing. The fans expect me to play. My teammates expect me to play.
Okay, but this is the thing. If you got a load management issue and you got all these older players, that means you're gonna drop games. Okay. And if you drop games, you drop too many games, I'm sorry. That's gonna put you in a position where you don't want to be. So my whole deal is this. We're gonna wait and see how this plays out.
I'm excited though. I'm excited
too. I'm excited for the new season.
Excited.
I recorded the game because you know me, I don't sit and watch the game when it comes on because I got stuff to do.
Right.
But I recorded the game and I always watch them afterwards after they're recorded. So I am going to watch this one. We've come to the end of our time, so we got to go. But once again, this has been fun and entertaining as it always is. Okay, so he's Matt, none the wiser wise. I'm Richard the Razor Ewing. This is GameFACE, Bay Area Sports Magnified.